Happy Wednesday, Sooner Nation. Welcome to the Sooner Surge podcast that tells it like it is. A day full of exciting things at the University of Oklahoma. Capped off tonight by Porter Moser and the Sooners on senior night, getting an absolute massive win against number 15 Missouri. Really in dominating fashion, leading the entire way outside a little less than a minute. They led the entire way. Jeremiah Fears was spectacular, as maybe people expected early in the year. This guy was phenomenal tonight. One turnover, was all in the entire game, 31 points. This team played tough. I'll say this, Porter Moser hasn't lost a team. I'll give them that. They're scoring above 80 points a game in the last 4. It just hurts so badly that they lost 3 games that they had no business losing. No business losing. But now it all comes down, you guessed it, to the Red River rivalry Saturday night in Austin. And I think OU wins that. They're in the dance, but at least on the right side of the bubble. What's up, Jay?
Hey, what's up? Got the glasses on tonight. Hey, the thing is, what's funny is it's been like a month and we said it's going to come down to the Texas game. And here it is. This is it. And I do think, though, that the Texas game, the win, gets you off the bubble for the time being, but does not lock you up a dance bid because of what could happen. Go look at previous years, what could happen in the conference tournaments. But a win against Texas and then a win in your first round matchup at SEC locks it, I think. But hey, you get this win tonight. It's a big win. You would love to have the Ole Miss game back. You would love to have the A&M get. You'd love to have some of those back, but they got this win. True must win. Had to have it. Saturday's a must win in Texas. Both teams on the bubble. If you get beat by Texas twice, you're out. You're out. You can't make it. So it's must win on Saturday night at 7 p.m.
Well, I wouldn't say can't. I mean, you could make a run in the SEC tournament, but you're right, Jay. You're pretty much out if you lose to Texas again. But hey, this team lives to fight another day. That's the biggest thing. Jeremiah Fears was phenomenal tonight.
Unbelievable.
Had a lot of tough stretches. 5 or 6 game stretch where he wasn't great.
But what do you expect from a 17, 18-year-old guy?
He was phenomenal tonight. I'm not going to defend it, Jay. I mean, he's a lottery pick. Phenomenal night. I call it like it is, Jay. That's what I'm saying.
Thanks, Dave, for the super. Appreciate it.
Jeez, big man.
Time. Hey, Jerm, what I'm saying about Jeremiah Fears is I understand you've been on him on some games and stuff. I get it. But
rightfully so.
Best freshman to play at OU since Trae Young, not even close. And
okay. You can go back and watch, Jay. He was phenomenal tonight. And what I've said about Fears the entire time is when he's all in and he doesn't force things, he's great. That's what he's got to be. Hey, there's a lot to talk about tonight because you also had media day with the new players, the newcomers at the University of Oklahoma. You heard from BV. You heard from Jim Naggie. I thought there's some really interesting things to talk about. And I agree with Braden. Sam Landry is going to pitch Friday night. We'll kind of have a video talk about that tomorrow.
Tell us your thoughts on the pressers today and what you heard from people and just kind of what you thought.
So, and I've got to go back in my memory bank, my photographic memory bank to remember.
Yeah, it's photographic. It shouldn't be a problem.
One, I absolutely loved Kendall Daniels' answer. Kendall Daniels said, I don't know where I'm going to play, but I just came to play defense at the University of Oklahoma, and if they want me to run through a wall, I'll do that. Love the answer. Love it. Other things, now I hated seeing all the guys that are injured, the 9 guys or so that are injured. I like BV's transparency or confidence about the defense when he said, you know why I'm calling it? Because I'm good at it. Okay, I like that. I didn't like some of the things where I think there could have been more, but at least he did not come out and say, well, we're doing this thing for the fans. That was what I was worried about. He didn't say it. Now, Jim Naggie, I thought was absolutely great when he said, we need to kind of narrow it down who these coaches are looking at. In other words, we're going to do our job so that they don't have to do as much. I thought is the way I put it. And then last, hearing from John Mateer increases my confidence even more. I don't know what else to say.
I like his
I
attitude.
love his demeanor, period.
I like his attitude a lot. I liked listening to him talk. Some people are asking about the Gibson thing. Basically, Brent Venables said he had a minor setback, running routes against air the other day. So what that means, I don't know. We're not going to know what that means, but guys, I mean, he's been injured a lot at Oklahoma. So
hey, Jay,
you're going to have to see something on the field from him before you kind of get super high up, because he needs to be available, man.
Ron, thanks for that. Smitty is getting it done early. I know you're talking about the injuries. It's ridiculous to talk about Smitty. To sit there and blame Jaden Gibson's on Smitty. But hey, you are right. You are right, Ron. Smitty is getting it done earlier. All you got to do is listen to Michael Fasucci. Did you hear what he said? He's put on 20 pounds since he's been on campus. 20. And he wants to get up to, I think, 320 or 350. He's put on 20 pounds. Smitty's doing his job. You're absolutely right. Good job, Ron. Way to notice it. John Mateer, it's pretty surreal. I'm the quarterback of the Oklahoma Sooners. It's a privilege. I look forward to doing everything I can do using the reason I have to win. And he talked a lot about the privilege. He talked a lot about Oklahoma, about how guys have looked to him as a leader. Man, I love what he talks about. What do you mean 20 pounds is not realistic? He already did. He put on 20 pounds, Steeler man. What are you talking about? He put on 20 already. Smitty's him when it comes to conditioning and weight gaining and things like that.
I didn't hear that part, so I can't comment on that. I don't know.
Am I wrong, Jay? I'm pretty sure that's what he said to the media.
I just said I didn't watch that interview, so I don't know. Hey, one thing though that I thought was interesting about Naggie, Sooner fans excited about Naggie going to run an OU like an NFL franchise. I thought a couple of things were interesting from Naggie that I really liked. One, when he said a lot of teams are talking about running it like a pro team, but they haven't really turned the corner and done it yet. He thinks OU's going to do that. The other one was this, when he was pretty transparent on this answer when he was talking about in the off seasons the last year or two, people calling college coaches calling him saying, if you hear of any job openings in the NFL, let me know. Like coaches wanting out. And he talked about coaches cannot evaluate, do contracts. They can't do all that role. That's not the role of a head coach. I think Naggie's a huge hire for Oklahoma. I hope it works out with Brent Venables because I think Naggie's a great hire, man. Unbelievable hire.
Agreed. Everything with what you said. Sooner-thron. Hey, Hunter, is it SEC Plus or is it ESPN? I think it's ESPN Network.
7 p.m.
Saturday night at 7. It is a do or die for the Sooners. After tonight's dominating win, they're going to be on the right side of the bubble. They're on the right side of the bubble. I think tonight when the new bracketology comes out, they're one of the last 4 in. But it doesn't matter because if you lose to Texas, you're out.
Correct.
Huge win tonight. Huge win.
SEC
it is
Network.
SEC Network.
There it is. SEC Network. So, you know what? The Brent Venables today, I think it was kind of what you thought was going to get from. Probably the biggest thing that's been talked about from his answers today was the fact that him coming out and saying, I'm coaching the defense because I'm good at it. That's probably the biggest quote.
That's the thing that stands out. No surprise. And by the way, Chester, Turnip Seed came here and did what he was supposed to do and then left.
Yeah, it's a different role than Turnip Seed was. I agree with that. But
and you're right. You're right, Hunter. If you have ESPN app, the Watch ESPN app, the ESPN app, you can just log in with your, like for us, we log in with our YouTube channel and we're able to get it.
Yeah. So
YouTube TV.
It's, didn't really talk a whole lot about why they're not doing the spring game other than a lot of guys maybe not available to field both teams or whatever, but didn't really.
What about Castiglione's thoughts?
Well, I thought that was kind of interesting. This morning on KREF.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think the exact quote, but he was pretty much, I wish I had it in front of me. I can pull it out.
Pull it up, and I got to say something. Like Johnson said. And welcome back, Jay Johnson. Hope your daughter's doing recovering okay from ACL surgery. I want to say this. People who say Jim Naggie is smart, by the way, he is smart. The guy's not stupid. He's very smart. He's not coming to OU and leaving in a year if BV leaves. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
No, this is a job.
Has nothing to do with BV.
Yeah. So this is what Castiglione said today. This quote, this is not a great thing. I'm not at all trying to excuse it, justify it, or try to put any lipstick on it. It's a rotten spot to be in. I mean, that sounds like to me from Joe C. He didn't want to cancel the spring game. Or would rather them not cancel the spring game.
I also want to say with Colin, to me, hearing Fasusi, according to what I heard, I read, he talked about he's gained 20 pounds. He wants to get to 315. He said, I need to keep doing all these things if I want to play as a freshman. Like, I guarantee you, Bill Beatenbow and others have said, hey, look, here's the deal. And the other thing you got to look at, Ozida and Howland are injured right now. So It is a chance for him to take the reins and say, look, I'm going to force you to not play me. Like, it's going to be very difficult for you guys not to play me as for Susie. Some other things that surprised me, obviously, Gentry Williams being limited, not a surprise. Disappointed in the Jaden Gibson news. I'm going to say this, and I'll say it. I may sound like maybe you need to get the sunshine going, but I was more impressed with Mateer than I thought I would be, and that's saying a lot because I was already pretty impressed with the dude.
With who? Mateer?
I was more impressed with Mateer than I thought I would be, and that's saying a lot because I was already impressed with the dude.
Yeah, I liked what I heard from Mateer. I mean, you know what? You're not going to find a whole lot on these things. Hub says all the interviews were okay, everything. Just win is all that matters. You're right. That's what matters. But, hey, I got to bring up something because there's a lot of things you can say maybe that, Dabo Swinney isn't changing to the times or what. Dabo Swinney, what I love about Dabo Swinney is Dabo Swinney says whatever's on his mind. And he said this today, and I thought it was interesting because we've been talking about spring games and tampering and portal and poaching. This is what Dabo said today when he says they're not canceling spring games. And he said, we're going to have a spring game. Whether you have a spring game or not, it's not going to be tampering. Ain't nobody going to go look at the spring game and go, oh, yeah, boy. Like, he pretty much called us, but like people aren't canceling the spring game because tampering. It's not.
Hey, I see a lot of comments about Mateer. Let me just say this. No, I'm not going to build a statue for Mateer. I will say this about Mayfield and Mateer. Mateer seems more humble, not as arrogant for sure. But here's what I'm going to say about Mateer. I'm not saying he's going to win the Heisman. What I like about Mateer, to me, and again, this is an intuition, okay? He just seems to have something where I think he's just going to be very tough and is not going to go down easily, going to fight, not going to, between the ears, isn't going to fold under pressure, relishes pressure, embraces it. These are all things that I think you're going to get with John Mateer. He answered this. He answered the swag, and he said, people want to say I have swag. He said, I just like playing football. That is an elite answer.
I like that answer. Hey,
Love
no
it.
quarterback predictions.
I want some more of it.
On 3 release, projected strength of schedule, OU number 1, toughest schedule in the nation.
Correct.
Hey, what I want to say is it was interesting. BV talked about Mateer, and he said how he's the first one in the room working out, leadership by working out, but then he also brought somebody else up, and I thought you might get giddy over it. And I thought you were probably.
I'm giddy, Jay. I'm giddy.
I thought
right
about
now.
you today when that was going on. I thought about you today, saying Jeremy's just sitting back in his chair, just oh yes, Jaren Kanik stuff.
Get him on the field somehow, Jay.
I knew you were going to be giddy over that.
Dude's an athlete and works harder than anyone. Find him a spot.
But Germany tried to find him a spot on defense, though, to be fair.
Cheetah, when he played Cheetah, he had 12 tackles.
What, his freshman year?
Yep, freshman year against Nebraska. Hey, massive win for the Sooner basketball team. Like, phenomenal. I love the fight. I mean, I don't know what else to say. They're fighting hard. They shouldn't have lost those 3 games. I really wish Jalen Moore would have played the last 20 seconds against Ole Miss and played defense instead of Godwin. It does suck for Godwin, the knee injury. I probably think, I'm leaning towards something pretty serious. I don't know if it is or not, but McGee was good tonight. They're going to have to play small. Cole may have to make a little NCAA tournament appearance, kind of like an old freshman. One of the freshmen, I think he's a sophomore, Austin Johnson, did 1 year.
Well, here's the thing.
Alex Spalding, baby.
Hey, here's the thing. You look at their matchups. If they can beat Texas, like if you look at the SEC tournament, the first 8 teams get a bye in the SEC. I think it was yesterday, Hunter was telling me, I think OU is predicted to play Arkansas first round and then Texas A&M. Yeah. So, you can win a game in the SEC tournament depending on who you play first. So they're playing. The fact of the matter is this: they are playing better than they played most of the year. They're starting to play better like they did early on this year.
They are.
They're starting to do better.
Godwin had 12. McGee had 12. Fierce had 31. Jalen Moore had 11. Goodine 9. Elvis 8 or 9. Forsythe 3. Luke Northweather, step back 3 in your grill, Caleb Grill. We can go on. The players scored, and the bracket, you can win 2 in the SEC tournament. You're going to play lower. The first round, you're going to play a lower one of the bottom, 6. But you got to beat Texas. No excuse.
That's it. Porter's got to find a way to beat Texas. And this is the game, if you remember right. Yeah, hit the like, please. Thank you.
Hit the like.
If you remember right, the last time they played Texas, you have Fears, freshman, and then you had their freshman who had a great game against OU. Do you remember that? He had a great game against OU the first time. Fears needs to go out there and dominate.
Trey Johnson.
Yeah, extend Porter Moser, Okie said. I won't be surprised.
He's joking. He's joking.
I won't be surprised if he's there next year, Jerm.
Well, no, if they make the tournament, I said
no. Even if they barely miss it, I wouldn't be surprised.
That'd be disappointing.
I'm just saying.
Hey, Gregod, why on earth was Goodine shooting 2 or 3 threes with like a minute 40 left when they could have dribbled the ball for 30 seconds? Porter Moser about lost his mind.
Well, you would have been mad if Porter Moser lost his mind. Let guys play freely out there. Play freely.
Oh,
right?
Come on, Jay.
That's what you want. That's what you
generally don't know basketball.
That's why Emoji Gibson left, is every time he shot a 3, Porter Moser
generally do not know the game, and I'm tired of it. And by the way, Jalen Moore should have played the last. Hey, Jalen Moore should have played the last 20 seconds against Ole Miss.
Agreed.
He played most of that game. He was in and out. I don't care how hurt he is. You get a stop to go to the big dance, he should have been in.
Yeah, if they would have won that game, they were locked up right now.
Yes. Jalen Moore should have said, put me in. I don't care if the trainers hold him out. I'm going out there with one leg. I'm getting a stop.
Well, the same could be said about the Kentucky game at home. You get one stop against Oway, you win that game.
But yeah, you know what I'm mad about, Jay. Okay,
no,
you know
I'm just saying, they've had so many chances. Thunder up 61-55 at the half. Let's open the phone
line. There are so many things to talk about. So many things with the football day-to-day, media day. It was great to hear from the guys. There's the phone link. Check out the fan stop at thefanstop.com. I got a trivia question right now.
Oh, here we go. Go for it.
Check out the fan stop at thefanstop.com. Sign up for the Show of the Month Club. Use code SURGE. Get 10% off your first 3 months. It's great stuff. I got the St. Patty's Day shirt. It's unbelievable. It's softer than a baby's bottom, okay? Cool as the other side of the pillow. Whatever analogy you want to use. Now, listen here. Listen here. Missouri had a player named Warwick. Okay? In the early 2000s, who did Hakeem Warwick play for?
No, that's so easy.
Very simple. It's very simple. College basketball player Hakeem Warwick. Where did he play college ball at? Went to the league.
Hey, Clark, spring, it's coming. It's coming, okay? I promise you.
People aren't getting it yet, Jay. It's shocking.
It's a pretty easy question.
Yeah, I'm disappointed Arbuckle was not heard from. That's unbelievable.
Once we get this trivia, we'll go ahead and get to the callers. But Q's,
There
there
it is.
Right
Alex gets it. Q, Syracuse, Orangeman. Hey, let's get to the callers. We got Colin on the line. Colin is calling in.
What's
Hello.
up,
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, how you doing tonight?
Good. I'll be short, but the one thing that I felt like stuck out with John Mateer was just compared to other QBs that we've had in the past was his ideal of making connections with the players early and teaching them. And one thing that stood out to me, which I don't remember his full quote, but it was like he practices like twice a week with routes outside of practice, but he focuses also not on just the on-field connection, but the off-field connection, because it's as important as on-field to know like your receivers.
Yep. Very
which
true.
I thought really was impressive.
And Colin, he's been at so many events, gymnastics, women's basketball, men's basketball. Like, the dude is doing everything the right way right now.
And I think I'll lastly say is, like you guys said, like, I think the big thing, and I think after hearing this, we may be a double-digit win team next year, because he seems like the put me on the back, do anything to win, that nitty-gritty final drive, put me in, coach. Even though I'm hurt, let me just go out there, do anything for the win.
He may be on his back a lot. For
them to get double-digit wins, Colin, he's going to have an amazing year, because that schedule is tough.
I think it's possible with the new revamped offense and with defense. Of course, anything's possible. We can go 12-0 and anything. But all right, thank you guys.
Hey, good to hear from you, Colin. Good to hear from you. Let's get to Okie Lawn guy. Let's go. Get to the dance, Okie Lawn guy. It can happen.
Yep, I'm going to go out on a limb and say OU's winning the national championship this year in basketball. Porter Moser is going to be extended. Jeremiah Fears is coming back for a second year, and he's going to actually commit to being he's going to stay on for 4 years, and him and Dayton Forsyth are going to build just an absolute monster of a team, and they're going to build the team around them, those two guys.
I don't know if you can see the screen, Okie, but
oh my gosh.
Sunshine, bro.
I feel honored to get the sunshine light.
You should be honored.
Hey, seriously though, thoughts?
No, I thought they played really, really good.
They did.
It was, I know I've had opinions about Sam Godwin, but to be honest, I really hate for the guy to go down like that on senior night. I mean, that's terrible. That's bad.
And he was having a great game too.
Yeah, he was actually having a really good game. I think they think. Are you hearing anything about? They think it might be season ending. I mean, did you guys see the replay? It did look pretty bad.
It looked pretty bad. I haven't heard anything from anybody yet.
I don't see him being back.
Yeah, I don't either, Jerem.
I mean, and look, Wagee played good when he came in, but Northweather had a step back three, which what the heck was that? But they're going to have to play small some games.
Yeah. Hey, and oh God, what was I going to say? The only frustration, and I know people want to come at me and say where were you? What section? Like I posted, I had a rant on X about or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, about the fan base. People want to say, hey, where were you? What section were you sitting in? And that's such a weak comeback, in my opinion. I haven't been to every game. I only been to 2 games, to be honest with you. And people I might say come back with saying, hey, I live in Tulsa. It's a 4-hour round trip. And they're like, well, that's making an excuse too. But you can't tell me that when I turned on the TV to watch the game, it looked like half empty on a senior night. I mean, come on. There was the Thunder weren't even in town tonight. So, I mean, really? Are you kidding me?
The Thunder's playing. The Thunder's playing now.
But they're out of town.
I know, but I think people just watch Thunder on TV more than they would go to OU. I can't explain
senior
it
days don't mean anything because the guys haven't even been here for over a year or two. They just don't mean anything like they used to.
It will be for like Dayton Forsyth if he's there 4 years.
Oh, if he stays, yeah.
But Godwin, I mean.
Oh, you think Forsyth is leaving?
No, I think he'll stay at OU.
He'll stay 4 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think he's an OU guy through and through. But
yeah, I agree. So, hey, I think it's also, but like I said, we can't go on that forever because we always know that it's just the way it's going to be, U basketball. But it's like we have the season's on the line. Come support them one last time. We know you haven't had the greatest thoughts about U basketball, but come on, at least show out for the senior night and the last game in the NLNC. There's nothing else going on. So
that's right.
No, a great win, and let's go down and hand Texas Longhorns another loss, and will that be the first win under Porter Moser in Austin?
Does he have
It'd
one
be the
win
first win against Texas, I think.
Yeah.
Texas one win. I can't remember.
He may have one win at home. I thought he was 0 for Jay. Hunter will know. Hunter will know.
Okay, so beat Texas, chances of getting into the dance.
Okay, here's my thoughts. If they
70%.
beat Texas, if they beat Texas, unless there's upsets in the conference tournaments, they're going to get in.
I agree. I say 70% chance could be some upset. Now, if you beat Texas and your first round in the SEC, 100% lock.
Okay. All right. Do we need Ole Miss to win or lose tonight?
It doesn't matter. I mean,
it doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
Ole Miss,
doesn't matter.
they're locked.
They're in.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Hey, thanks, man.
I tell you, what could really benefit Oklahoma. You don't know that would happen and they would win, but if they end up playing Arkansas in the SC tournament and beat them, they would have beaten them twice, and they're both on the bubble. That'd be a big game. Yeah. But Arkansas is playing really well right now. I think Arkansas is a lock. So,
hey, thanks.
House Plug says it wasn't a bad crowd. Hey, here's the thing.
Kudos to House Plug for getting out to LNC.
Yeah, kudos House Plug. Hey, here's what you cannot say about this team. You can't say that I'm not going to go watch them because they're not entertaining. They score like 90 points. They've been scoring like 90 points.
Hey, Jay. Yeah, Moser
there it is. He has not.
Moser hasn't beaten TV, and I watched it on ESPN through my ESPN. I watched the game, so
I watched it on the ESPN app.
Yeah. Hey, listen. OU has gotten 20 wins. What? One of the years under Moser and did not make it with 20.
Yeah, but here's the thing. It's a bad bubble year.
It's a bad bubble, dude.
It's a bad bubble unless things happen in conference tournaments. But
I tell you what it is. It's like a bubble with juicy fruit. You ever try to blow a bubble with juicy fruit? You can't do it. That's how bad the bubble is right now. Like, this is definitely not a hubba bubba bubble. Okay.
Greg God says win over Texas. You're in. Probably so. Harry, I'm sure Harry was at the game. Harry supports him. He's always out there. Harry James Taylor.
Huge W.
Huge W. Missouri says, I truly believe OU's.
Well, yeah, I would say that if I lost to him too. I'd say, yeah.
Hey, and as much as you don't want to admit it, having a guy like Jeremiah Fears helps.
Oh, I said that to you yesterday, Jay.
It helps.
Oh, you know what else helps? When he plays like he did tonight, he was phenomenal. He was absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
And Jay Johnson, it's kind of like when Cade Cunningham was at OSU. People wanted him in the tournament.
Yeah, but what you can't have happen are some of these, for instance, Big 12, some team go off and run the table and win it, or the ACC team like North Carolina get hot and run all the way through.
Over under Mateer 30 TDs.
That's 12 games. That's about.
I'm going over because if we're counting rushing touchdowns. By the way, did you hear what he said, Jay, about rushing?
2.5 touchdowns a game. You're saying over.
Yeah, I'm saying over. Hey,
there'll be some games he gets 4 and some games 1.
There's going to be some games he gets 5. There's going to be some games he gets 1. But, hey, I like what he said about playing fullbacks, double tight ends. He said there'll be a lot we can do. Like he was saying this is going to be, and with the rushing attack. Now, again, Heath Azida being on the injury report, Logan Howland being on the injury report. Interesting. Those are two guys I really didn't expect to see on there. And I think it opens the door for a guy like Fasusi who was foaming, like talking about playing as a freshman. He wants to do it for sure.
Looks like we got Jackson online. What's up?
There they are, the sunglasses, the light. I was just gonna ask about it.
What's up, Jackson? How are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Good, man.
I'm gonna join the call tonight to do some, maybe be a sunshiner, as I like to be called.
I figured that was coming.
Hey, I have not done that.
Bring it. I like
these last few months, but I'm gonna say, listening to John Mateer talk today, you cannot talk about that's a dude that has the utmost confidence and swag in himself. The dude that thinks he's the baddest dude on the field. Now, I know I've seen a ton of comparisons to Baker Mayfield on social media. I'm not going to do that because Baker Mayfield is one of the greatest QBs in college football history and maybe the greatest in Oklahoma history, right? But I think hearing John Mateer talk, now I know it's all talk. We've heard talk many, many times. I think, as Clark says, it's definitely sunshine season. It is right now. But I think John Mateer, I think that's going to be a bad dude this year. I think he's going to come in, maybe even be a better QB than what I thought he would be. I've talked about him maybe being third, fourth, fifth best QB in the SEC. I think there's a world where maybe he's competing for second. But
behind
what?
Who? Arch?
Yeah, behind Arch Manning. I think Arch is going to be the best.
Hey, John Mateer is going to have a really good year for Oklahoma. If you want Oklahoma,
absolutely.
If they want to have where they want to be, he's going to have a good year.
Yeah, and also, I'm starting to get behind the hype that Michael Fasusi can play as a freshman. I know, Jeremy, you've said you've thought he can. I've been hesitant, but I think maybe with Logan Howland being out for the spring, that puts Logan Howland behind. I think there's a chance that Michael Fasusi could get a lot of reps with the ones, especially if he adds the weight that he said he's been adding and continues to add weight. I think Michael Fasusi, he's going to have a legitimate chance to start. I've maybe been one of the few Oklahoma fans that has said, I don't think he's going to start as a true freshman, but I think that he definitely has a chance to start.
Two true statements right here in the chat. Tone Loke says it starts up front, which it does. Okay.
Absolutely.
And Ian is right.
Oh, true. Garrett Nussmeier. I completely forgot about him.
I think Nussmeier's in the best. And then I've got to get to this question about.
Hey, I'll say this. Hey, real quick. Hey, Jackson, Greg God called you out and said all off season you said Fasusi won't play. Hey, Greg God, a couple more sleeps for Jackson and Fasusi will be a freshman All-American starting.
Hey, Greg God, you want to know something? I'm pretty sure that is what I just said is I don't think he'd play as a freshman, but now I'm starting to think that that's a real chance with Logan Howland being hurt. Did I not say that?
I hope he does good and is able to start, but
is that not what I just said? I don't want to get started with anyone right now in the chat, but I basically said that what Greg God was saying.
That's what he said.
Hey, go back to Tone Loke though. Hey, go back to Tone Loke because he talked about the upfront. Mateer can be an all-world quarterback.
Yeah.
But if they don't if they aren't better up front, it's not going to prove
right. And I think something that's going to help a ton is if Troy Everett's healthy. He's played a ton of football and he's experienced. He looked really natural at center last year, and I think that's something in which if you have him starting at center, because the offensive line while he was healthy did play significantly better whenever Troy Everett came back from injury. So
Jackson, thanks for the nightly sunshine, though. We appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Appreciate the sunshine. And there you have another example of the sunshine by Jackson. Appreciate you doing it. And by the way, I bought some sunscreen tonight because first track meets tomorrow. Left it in the sack at Ross. Didn't even get it. So I couldn't even put it on tonight.
Can I ask you a weird question?
Yeah.
Why on earth would you go into Ross to buy sunscreen and not Walmart?
It's bigger and cheaper, Jay.
It's not cheaper than Walmart.
Absolutely is, bud.
Not sunscreen.
Absolutely is.
There's no way it's cheaper.
Dude, you don't. Wow.
It's hard to believe because it's not true. It's not true.
It's 100% cheaper.
You know what we should do? Instead of doing this sunglasses next time, we should start putting sunscreen on.
I went to try to find mine, Jay, but we left it. Hey.
Wait, is that why you were buying it?
No, the track meets are in Tahlequah, Okie Lawn guy. I won't be there. My son's running, but I'll be at the school I can't miss. Hey, Jay, there was a question in here about, do you really think he can handle? You really think he can handle it? The pressure. And listen, I'm going to say this about here. And I know I've been high on other quarterbacks like Jackson Arnold, but I'm going to say this about John Mateer. Sometimes when guys speak, it comes across as a little bit forced, fake. I'm going to say this about John Mateer. John Mateer seems, when he speaks, to be sincere as all get out. Now, it's kind of his demeanor. And I promise you this.
I like it. It's not coach speak. It's not coach speak. That's why I like it.
I promise you this. The huddle, he is going to demand and command attention in the huddle, and he's not going to have to yell. They're just going to embrace him because of that sincerity, I think, Jay. I think he's got it. I think he's got it, man. He's got it.
I like what Daniel says here. You can't compare Baker and him until he plays on the field, but you can't get the attitude is all you can see right now. But, hey, one thing I want to say, and I'd love to answer in this chat. I would love to see what everyone's thoughts are. Better chance. Hear your opinion too, Jerm. Better chance Mateer's at OU 2 years or 1? I'm going to go 2.
I'm going to say 2 because I think if he has a really good year, I think he's going to get paid hefty next year to stay.
I would too. I'm going to see what the people think in here. They make money now. You're going to have the evaluation. It depends on the O-line, Stillerman says. But you would think the O-line the next year would be a lot better because of all the young guys you have that are going to be playing. But I think you're going to have a situation where it's either if he has a great year this year and jumps way up, he might go pro. But if he has a good year and it's still kind of mid-range on quarterback, he probably comes back. So,
hey, I'm nuts. I think that's kind of nuts to think that we haven't seen Mateer yet. So, but that's 2 years down the road. We'll see. Hey, Jay, were you more impressed with Naggie or about what you expected?
I just like him. I like what he says. I like the way he talks. I like his he seems pretty open. It's not like your typical, like coaches kind of have coach speak. He doesn't really have that. He kind of says, I like it. But you know what? This is new. What they're doing at Oklahoma with this professional model, what Jim Naggie's going to do, this is new. So you got to see how it's going to work out. I think he's a great evaluator of talent. We'll see how it works co-tandemly with Brent Venables. I think that's going to be the interesting thing to see how they work that. Because up until now, coaches have done all the recruiting and all that. He's going to be doing a lot of the evaluation in his team. I'm very interested to see his team he's going to hire. He said he wants NFL experience, is what he said. He wants NFL experience. So I'm interested to see who they go after. Do you think they go after any OU guys? For instance, think they go after a guy like Gerald McCoy or anything like that? No, I don't either. I think they go just straight NFL experience and who Naggie wants to bring in. And Greg God's right. Naggie brought excitement. BB's still the coach. We'll see what happens this year.
And I think Juan Blero, I know NIL commish agrees with Juan Blero. The revolving door is kind of frustrating, man. It's different animal. But here's the thing. I'm going to use the analogy, so bear with me. I like to use analogies. I just said it's a different animal now with the revolving door, like Juan Blero said, NIL. Well, here's the good news. It's a different animal. It's a wild animal. And Jim Naggie's the right zookeeper. You like that, Jay?
I hate that analogy.
I like it. I thought it was exceptional.
I didn't like it. Didn't like it, Jerm.
We live closer to Tulsa, Fred. Actually, Fred, we live closer to Tulsa, man. I do. Jay doesn't.
I live closer to Tulsa than I do to Norman.
That is true, I guess.
Is Mohawk still have a zoo? No way.
Elite analogy, Jay. So much better than your analogies, Jay.
Look, you highlight corrections comment, and then Stillerman right behind him said, "Yikes, Germ."
Stillerman is saying yikes because it was so golden. That's great. That's great.
I don't think it was very good, Germ.
Anything shock you from BV?
Nothing, but you know what is kind of, I think it is, you got teams like Georgia, Florida, Clemson. There's still a lot of teams that are going to be doing the spring games.
Yeah. Jay, did anything surprise you, shock you, stand out about BV? Or any of the players? Because I said Kendall Daniels stood out to me.
I mean, Brent Venables was typical. I think Brent Venables. I don't think that you got a lot out of it. So I think it was kind of what I expected. I like Naggie. I like listening to him. Somebody new. Mateer. I mean, I haven't listened to every player that got interviewed, so I can't comment on it. But
answer Oklahoma guy's question.
What did BV say about it? He brought up the fact that they got a lot of injuries right now and trying to field two teams to do a spring game. I don't know. Based off his answer, if that's true with his answer, then the spring game isn't gone forever at Oklahoma. But I don't think that's – I think the spring game's gone at Oklahoma. I'm
going to say this about Mateer.
I got to say something to Stillerman after that. I got to say something to Stillerman.
I think that having a guy like Michael Hawkins is about, because here's what you don't want, Sooner Nation. You cannot take the running game away from John Mateer. You cannot go into this season and think, man, if Mateer goes down, our coaching job, we're done. That cannot be the mindset. They've got to go in there and let John Mateer be John Mateer. Play his game. And if he gets hurt, you got Michael Hawkins. But you cannot pull back on the reins and try to make him into something that he's not. Okay?
Hey.
So I would say that. I would say you cannot do that. That's a big thing that's going to be a decision that's got to be made early on.
Hey, and Ron keeps putting here Hawkins up to 220. There you go. Daniel, how the heck do they have a lot of injuries?
The dumbest take I've ever heard in my life.
If you're putting Matt's take up here, I'd question you, Jeremy.
Yeah, that's pretty dumb to put Matt's take up.
Why would you even bring it up? I mean, come on now.
Oh, now this take by Matt D is elite. Oklahoma's like a pack of tigers, and Naggie is Joe Exotic, man.
Let me get back to what I was saying about the injuries. I think a lot of these injuries he called out, the guys that are like Ozida, Howland, a lot of these guys are just maybe off-season. Some of them might have had procedures done in the off-season, just not rushing them back to get them in a spring game. I'd have to go through each injury. I don't think that you got a whole lot of new injuries, though. And then the other thing I was going to say was back to Stillerman here. I liked it too, Stillerman. But what I'll say, I really liked when he was talking about the defense, and he was like, hey, and somebody's got to lead the whole thing, but he really was, I think one thing this tells me with him going back to calling defense, obviously he says he's good at it, and we all know he is. He's good at calling defense. But I don't think he would be going back to do that if he wasn't pretty comfortable in Arbuckle running the offense. He's got to be pretty comfortable with Arbuckle doing what he's going to do. So what does that equal next year? I hope.
Why did we not hear from Arbuckle, though?
Well, I think you're going to hear from him at the spring game, right?
No,
I don't know, Jeremy. I don't know, but he's a newcomer. Okay. Yeah, they need to change the name because it sounds like it's going to be more like the Pro Bowl is what it's going to be.
I said there's a chance I could – listen, I want to apologize because I said I might lose my mind tonight, but I don't have to because BV did not come out and say we're doing this for the fans. Thank you. Also, Porter Moser and Company won. Thank you. I didn't lose my ever-loving mind tonight, but Chris Beard probably is right now. Chris Beard is probably losing his mind right now.
Yeah. If you're up 3.
It's been a fun one, man. It was great to have a lot of things happening in the world of OU sports tonight.
It was.
And 2 days from now, they have an elite Love's Field matchup between OU and South Carolina for a 3-game set.
Yeah, and hey, Matt D says Sports Zone was bringing Will Wade. Hey, I would love them to go get Will Wade. If they end up getting rid of Moser, Will Wade would be high on my list. I don't think they'll go after him. I just don't know if they'll go after him for the fit, but I like Will Wade. I think he'd be a good hire. But hey, let's get to Daniel. Daniel's online. What's up,
Daniel?
What's up, guys? I just had like two things. It's just on the John Mateer situation. So my thing with John Mateer, like I said in the comments, he has the attitude that Baker had coming in on the campus. Now, I'm not going to compare him in terms of, like I said, in body of work, because he hasn't had the time to do that, but just what Baker was when he came in. Baker came in on campus. Like I've said this before, he came in and we were at the Huff playing basketball. He showed up. He was there at practice. And from that day, Baker came in with the attitude like, I'm here to turn everything around, like just by his attitude and mentality. So if John Mateer has anything of that, that's a good sign. But also one thing that Baker had that John Mateer must have for him to be successful is Baker always had good run play and good blocking play.
Correct.
So if he does not have those two, it's going to be a long year or two for John Mateer. So those two things, in my opinion, go hand in hand. But if he does have that mentality, I definitely think that he has a chance. But to me, I'm not saying it's too early to compare him in terms of mentality, but just game. I just got to wait and see, and I want to see how the other pieces around him come into play. That to me, that's more important than if he's good. If he's excellent, that's great. But if the run game is terrible and the blocking is terrible, it's not just he's just going to be another average quarterback.
And that's right. And nobody wants him to just have a good season and OU stink. And for OU to be good, they got to have, you're right, they got to have run game. They got to be able to block, offensive line, front, all that. You're right.
But I do think, Daniel, and look, I agree with the attitude part. And based on what John Mateer said today, he said as soon as he got on campus, guys kind of came to him and said, hey, you're going to be out in front. You're going to be leading. Like, he just kind of already had the leadership. I think that's comparing that is great. And also on the field, his game, I'm not going to say he's got near the arm strength of Mayfield because like you said, we haven't seen the body of work. But his style of play, how he extends plays, is 40 times probably pretty similar. And neither one are going to wow you with it. But hey, Juan Plero's got a question, Daniel. He said he heard that Baker played intramurals before he got eligibility. Is that true or just part of the legend?
I think that's part of the legend. I've never heard that or talked to Baker about that. It might be. I've never heard that. It may be true.
He might have filled in or something.
Yeah. Because the first time I ever came across Baker, we were literally at the Hub playing basketball. We were like, "Who the heck is this?" And my teammate Sean Dave was like, "That's Baker Mayfield." I'm like, "What the heck is he doing here?" I thought he was at Texas Tech. So that there's that. But yeah, I mean, I agree with everything y'all are saying. I'm hoping. I can't remember really off the top of my head the field. And I've even seen Chester and Gray got some of those guys like to hold on the offseason hype. I can't remember what the offseason hype was in that 2015, the spring of 2015 going into the fall. But I know just as a team, the mentality was we had a bad season and it was a winning season, but it was a bad season. And it just was the mindset was ready. And Baker came in like the spot was already hit. He showed it. And I don't know if that's John Mateer. I hope he's not going in thinking that the job's already his just because the quarterback played from last year, which is kind of similar to what it was that time because Trevor came off the terrible season. And then, Baker came and took his spot. So I'm hoping he's going in thinking I have to earn this spot. I have to earn the trust of my teammates. I have to earn the trust of these coaches. And that's what it sounds like from the interview. But I hope that's reciprocated by teammates. DeMarco's in there with his running backs. Hey, y'all see that bull crap we did a year ago? We're not doing that again. Whole Bill Beatingbo's in there saying, y'all see that crap we did a year ago? That's not going to happen again. Because if it does, all our jobs are on the line. So, it goes hand in hand. So, we should have to see. But I'm hoping everybody has the right mindset going into the spring.
Yeah. Well said, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, Daniel.
Thanks, Daniel. Good to hear from you. Hey,
Hunter says
Baker said on a podcast he got kicked out of intramurals because they argued he was an NCAA athlete, although he wasn't officially on the team.
Hey, Ron's asked us like 3 times, who do I want to replace BV? If they were to get rid of BV, next year. Say they don't have a good year and they get rid of him. Who would I want? Golly, that is a tough question right now. I'm just trying to think off the top of my head, who would I want him to go after? I'd want him to go get a home run higher. Now, somebody that's proven that they've done it.
I don't know why you're even showing that comment because he's not gone yet. It's kind of like pointless.
Well, it's because of the Porter Moser, the Will Wade stuff. That's why he's asking. And yeah, exactly. I'm not saying he is, Jeremy. I never said he was. I'm just trying to think of who
not Josh Heupel.
And
not Josh Heupel. Yeah, in the middle of the season,
Ron,
I agree.
Ron,
I will mention a replacement if OU struggling in the middle of the year.
Ron.
We did all last year.
Ron, the difference was somebody asked me about a guy that would replace Moser. Like they already threw a name out there. I didn't have to think of a name. I'll think of one, though. I'll think of one. But
yeah, hey, this has been a blast. Finally, a lot of things happening. Spring practice gets underway. Every night at 9:30. You guys know where we're at, and you guys are here with us. We appreciate you all. Please check out the Fan Stop. I'm going to wear my St. Patty's Day special one pretty soon. You guys can check that out. But check out the Fan Stop. Sign up for the Shirt of the Month Club. Massive win for Sooner basketball today. They get on the right side of the bubble now, and now you got to go take care of business in Austin on Saturday night. Thanks for watching tonight. We'll have it again tomorrow night. We'll see you tomorrow.